go! Are you ready to ride? Buckle up, 'cause I'm gonna be ahead of my time. Put your hands high in the sky. Just know it, keep your dream alive. Keep dreaming, don't stop. Keep dreaming, don't stop.
Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Mugello. It's time for race 2 of the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup here in the Tuscan hills of Italy. We had an absolute blockbuster of a race yesterday, which we customarily do round this beautiful ribbon of asphalt here in Italy. But before we get going with everything race 2, let's roll those highlights. These are the highlights from Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup at Mugello, race 1. And it was an all-out brawl with basically all riders participating on the grid, participating all the way to the line. Your eventual winner, though, Ryota Ogiwara, got the start of his life down into turn 1, but was battling pole position rider David Gonzalez for the next several corners. Thai rider Kyatasaki Singapong was an ever-present feature, but this was just about as tame as it got. Beñat Fernandez made his way towards the front, and we saw an unfortunate crash out from Luca Agostinelli, nearly saving that crash. As we got in towards the final laps, it got more than a bit too chaotic, with the likes of David Gonzalez, Fernando Bajosa going down and crashing out of the nearby points contention. Across the line they came, and it was Ryota Ogiwara keeping it straight line all the way to the finish flag, taking win from Beñat Fernandez.
Well, I'm super happy. It was a crazy race, everyone fighting like completely crazy, but yeah, I managed to do a comeback from the 17th position to the 3rd, and yeah, it's just super happy. Now the hard work paid off, and we will keep working hard to step up even more.
I'm happy that I maintain all the time like the position on the front, and I had the pace to stay in there and had the confidence to overtake and do much overtakes. So I'm happy though.
Yeah, in the last lap, I don't know. It's crazy, man. I cannot remember what I made in last lap, but yeah, it was crazy, no? I used Beñat strip swim. Yeah, finally check line and overtake Beñat. I get victory. It's crazy. I'm super happy.
Congratulations to our podium finishes. However, racing isn't just about full gas. It's about precision. Riders study the track to find those tenths of a second to be the fastest one. Danny and the riders told us why the track walk is such an important part during the race week.
Many riders, it's first time on the event. They are never right on this track. You need to realize what's going on the track, to see the clambers, to see the curves, to see how is the layout.
You see much more, and you can talk with the people around you, because when not on the bike, you don't know. When you go on the bike for the first time, you don't know the braking points, and when you have like done a track walk, you know the braking points, which gears you need to put. So you have a lot more information than when you go directly on the bike.
The track walk is important because it's my first time here, and I need to learn the braking markers and what gear I should do in the corners and overtaking spots.
I know more or less the gears they are using years before, and I try to explain them more or less the brake points, the places to be careful, like the big curves, like the track limit, where are the track limits, which gear they are used to use.
Danny has a lot of experience, and that helps a lot with the track walk, because then he can tell us, okay, you need to do this here in this corner and this in this corner, so that helps really much. I take a lot of notes. Now we have only done 5 turns, but I take notes what I need to do, because between turn 2 and 3 you need to do like 10% of gas. Then I know that for the first session, so I can try that.
Now let's see who put that knowledge into good use as we head into race 2. It's time for some epic racing from the picturesque Mugello circuit. Let me hand you over to the commentary team of Matt Dunn and Peter Clifford.
Wakey, wakey, it's time for Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action here in the Tuscan Hills, and I hope that you who are on Central European time have managed to get up. Of course, we've got viewers from all over the world. For some of you, I guess it's much, much later in the day. Anyway, we are bright and early, aren't we, Matt?
Absolutely. Well, it's not that bright and early, Peter. It's 8:40. I'm already 2 flat whites deep. I know everybody, I don't know about you, I tend to get messages from the UK from 7:40 in the morning. Why are you shouting? It's 8:40, it's not 7:40. Wake up! So anyways, we are ready for racing here. The fans are, well, a little bit bleary-eyed, bushy-tailed, etc. after a heavy night here in the hills of Mugello. But very, very exciting indeed after a cracking race we had yesterday. Hopefully we can expect more of the same today. So then, let's head down onto the grid then for our first interview with Dominica. Who have you got for us today, Dommy?
Well, we have Finn's father, who is incredibly proud about Finn's first podium. So tell us, what does it mean to you as a parent after all the hard work to achieve this?
Yeah, well, it was amazing yesterday, so the result was incredible. So we all have a hard work for this, but the main make he and all the people around him. So a lot of people believe in him, and I only a piece of this, and I'm proud, yes. And yeah, we are on the way. Thank you to be a part of that.
Our pleasure. All the best of luck today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess
We
he's
have
got
goosebumps.
there.
yeah, love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible ride yesterday. You know, he was on the grid in 17th. That's where he finished the first lap. But he was midfield for most of it, then jumped up to lead across the line at the end of lap 10. Then he was back to 10th place on lap 12 before crossing the line in third place. Superb.
But we will be hearing, though, from yesterday's winner, Ryota Agiwara. Well, he got the start of his life and the finish of his life yesterday. How does he feel ahead of today's race? Take it away, Dommy.
Ryota, you got incredible win yesterday. You must feel amazing today. After all the incredible hard work you've put into with a whole shot into turn 1. Do you think you can do the same today?
I don't know, I hope so. But today is today, yesterday is yesterday. Of course, today is different story with yesterday. Yeah, let's see.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. What a start he had yesterday, Peter. I mean, it was what fascinated me was he didn't look ready. He was completely stood upright. He wasn't even tucked behind the screen at all, and then just gave this massive, big old push with his right leg and sent it down towards turn 1. No one had an answer for him into the first corner, but then it was David Gonzalez, of course, who took him into, what, turn 3 or something like that.
Yeah, and he ended the first lap in third place. But this is that run down to the first corner.
Look at that.
It's superb, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that, underneath the Brembo bridge there and down to turn 1. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And you can't tell who's going to lead here.
No.
But,
well, this was coming on to the final lap, I think, then. You had Sullivan Moundsy in the lead.
And look at that squeeze. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4 guys all on the same patch of tarmac.
Yeah,
and then that's where it all goes wrong for a couple of them.
Yeah.
But it was an incredible run for him yesterday. He's actually our 80th different Rookies Cup winner. He is. But in the middle of the race, he was back to 14th place before coming forwards again. To me, looking at the lap chart, the important thing, interesting thing, is Banyat, who started on the grid in 10th place, was 11th at the end of lap 1. He was 7th at the end of lap 2, 2nd at the end of lap 3, and then, as far as the start and finish line is concerned, he wasn't outside the top 3.
Well, there you have it, mate. It's that will surely be a sign to just give it full gas throughout the race then for everybody. No mucking around today. You're getting a look at your starting grid right now. So big shout outs like Luca Agostinelli yesterday had a great run initially early on in the race, but unfortunately crashed out. Thought he was going to save it, but he was a bit distraught about that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He had data on his bike. They don't all run data, but he did. And apparently he was just 3 kilometres faster going into the corner, more lean angle, and that was all it took.
Fine margins in Rookies Cup. One person I want to keep an eye on today, Giulio Pugliese, the Italian. Well, he finished up 5th yesterday after starting from the very back of the grid. Today he starts from 6th. What can he do with that extra advantage? What are we about to see here, Peter? I mean, you know, yesterday it was, let's call a spade a spade. It was a very slow race, hence why we had basically the entire field in the leading pack. It got pretty scary onto the final lap. What will have the riders been told last night in preparation for today?
Well, you know, the rider briefing this morning said Danny Rivolta and Gus Allowing, they replayed some of the highlights of the race from yesterday and just pointed out to them that, you know, especially with things like Verhoeven's crash, that could have been very, very nasty. Okay, they got away with it. Nobody was injured, but it produced a slow race. Now, you know, the point to the riders is stop mucking about, stop messing each other up, just get on with it. We have had races here won by big margins. It's not common, but it has been done. Jorge Martin did it. Angel Piqueras, Maximo Chies did it, won by big margins. It can be done here, but you've got to concentrate on getting ahead. Maybe a couple of people working together.
And I spoke to Beñat Fernandez briefly yesterday, and he told you, I think at lunchtime, he said he doesn't care if he's leading out the final corner, he'd rather do that and just give it everything he's got. And okay, he got him second yesterday. On the one hand, he didn't win. On the other hand, he got second, and his title rivals didn't. He's 26 points ahead of Ryota Ogiwara now. That is a substantial points lead at this stage in the season.
Yeah, just something to point out yesterday. We saw Christian Borelli pull into the pits with a technical problem yesterday. He was looking a bit sheepish today. He said, yeah, it was my fault. He said I was over-revving it. He's one of the guys running the shorter gearing. And as he said yesterday, towards the end of the straight here, you're just hitting the rev limiter. And he said he was just doing too much of that in the slipstream, and that is what cooked the engine, unfortunately.
Well, there we have it. So then, coming through to the final corner, riders, what is about to ensue here? David Gonzalez, unfortunately, very unlucky yesterday down into turn one. Got really squeezed, but that is unfortunately a product of the kind of racing that they were all engaging in yesterday.
Well, yeah, and as I say, that is where Beñat is so wise. You know, he's at the front of the group there, where there's a limited number of riders doing the bumping. But unfortunately, Dave, you know, he got back in the middle of the pack, and there's so much elbowing going on. We saw in that replay of the going final lap, you know, there's five guys all trying for the same patch of tarmac, and that is where someone with a wise head on his shoulders, like Beñat Fernandez, is likely to avoid that sort of problem. There is the number 11, David Gonzalez, on pole position again. Let's see if he's learned from yesterday. And there's yesterday's winner, Ryota Ogiwara, as I say, the 80th different winner in Rookies Cup in our 20th season. And we're ready for another 13 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action.
We have an issue for a rider. I think that is Travis Borg, hand up, unfortunately, stalled the bike. No, it's Jeroen van Kroekten. Sorry, I got confused by the orange helmet. The Dutchman off the grid, unfortunately. Then we have a false start, but I think we will be going ahead fairly soon, so long as there's no other issues. That is a real shame for him, because he qualified much higher up than usual. 12th position for the Dutchman, but we'll be starting from pit lane now. The other riders wait, and we might have to... Yeah, another hand up for Ramadipa. The bikes are starting to overheat, etc., so we might have to have another warm-up lap, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They all look around in confusion, and, well, if it was tension before, it's all going to be in their minds going, right about now.
So there's the technical stuff. They're restarting our Dutch riders' bike, as you say. It's a great shame, because he was...
delayed.
He was on 12th.
Start delayed then, yep, so there we have it. Our race director, Jack Gorse, there in the timing tower, making that call. So, yeah, bike's off, and they're going to have to be restarted then. And we haven't... have we got starter motors for every single one?
No, we don't.
I think that's part of the issue then, isn't it?
Well, that's right. There's sort of, you know... yes, it's going to take a few minutes to get this all reorganised here. But anyway,
Peter,
we will soon be on the way.
Explain to us and the other users sort of what would have happened there to Jeroen van Kroekten. I mean, how simple can it be to stall a bike?
Literally just stall it. Maybe he was hunting for neutral, didn't find it, or he just clicked it as he clicked it into gear, ready to get started. He didn't have enough revs on, and it just stalled.
It's easier done than said, I think, in some ways.
No, it is. You know, we've all done it, really. I mean, you know, some of the best riders in the world have stalled on the start line. Well, we've got a few minutes to talk about this before we get going again. Interestingly, having a chat over coffee this morning with Beñat Fernandez, and I said, what about the cold track temperature today? And he said, yes. He says that does make a difference. I remember last year, he said, here on the cold track, without the sun, you can see the sun is not on the track here at the start and finish, just where you can see where the shadows are. It's starting to heat up the rest of the track. But he said for the first 6 laps last year, he said, I really felt there was a lack of grip. And he said it was quite sudden that I felt the tyres switch on, and from 6 laps on, we had really good grip, better than when the track is actually too hot.
One thing I'll add in this scenario then in that case, if we've got about a 5-minute delay because they're putting the tyre warmers on, then they have to get going, then we'll have another warm-up lap. You know, it's 5 minute extra of the sun baking down, and it's already very hot out there. How long, you know, will that now change it a little bit more?
Well, that's right. Maybe that's not 6 laps, maybe that's 3 laps now. Yeah.
And especially as we got a 12-lap new race distance, well then, we're not conserving tyres, we're absolutely gunning for it, aren't we?
That's right.
So, yeah, brilliant.
It was a lovely chat with Beñat this morning, and you know, suddenly we were talking, and he realised, oh my goodness, I've got to go and get ready. But he didn't just rush off. He took his coffee cup back to the bar instead of leaving someone else to clear up his mess. And I thought, you know, tiny things. But
raised
that's
well,
nice
raised well, that man. Yeah. Oh, good.
Nice touch. Anyway, so he's feeling really confident. You know, he said, there's nothing I'd change about yesterday's. Okay, I didn't win it, but he said that, you know, really, I went into the race just looking to get a podium, and of course, second place, you know, is perfect.
So Jurjen van Kruchten is going to have to start then from pit lane, and yes, that is an unfortunate start to him to his race day. But either way, we'll be getting going fairly short. This is just sort of, so why do we have this sort of 5-minute sort of wait now? Why can't we just just stop the bikes and go?
That's right.
But it's, you know, they're all putting the tyre warmers on, and surely you want a bit more like parity between everybody with cooler tyres and things like that, don't you?
Yeah, well, of course, but there's no power to those tyre warmers.
Right.
So they're not getting warm. They're not
okay,
getting
well,
any.
They're not solar powered.
They're not solar powered. So there's no battery on that KTM. There's no power to those tyre warmers. So you know, I would imagine, you know, there's going to be another warm-up lap. So that will get the heat into the tyres. But quite why we are not shooting away, and as you can see, there's not a starting machine for a tyre roller thing for every motorcycle.
Yeah, well, we will be going instead then in 2 minutes time. They'll be whipping the tyre warmers off again in just a moment.
Tyre blankets, because they're not warming
blankets,
anything.
Yeah, the tyre kitchen towels.
Anyway, but it's all a bit of tension, isn't it? You know, these guys, but it's all a learning experience. It's something that they're going to experience sooner or later.
Well, because this is, isn't it? They've all done. You saw like Ryoto Guevara is like hitting his chest, doing a very Jack Miller-esque sort of pump up, and then all of a sudden, silence.
Yeah.
You know, what does that do? Who at the start of that was absolutely shaking in their boots, sort of really nervous, and then all of a sudden is now either the opposite, like even further, you know, tension, or actually just complete calm. You know, that's what can this do to the mindset of riders? And as we know, it's, you know, racing is 80% up in your head and 20% what you do with your body.
Yeah, that's right. Well, as you know, we've got one slightly, it's a slightly shorter distance, so it's 12 laps instead of 13. But as Beñat said yesterday, you know, the tyres do go off, but he says it's really predictable. That's the great thing about these Pirelli tyres. It's all they give the rider a tremendous amount of feel. And he said, you know, I'm really happy racing on the tyres towards the end of their life. He said, I don't think that everybody is. And of course, that's something else that Beñat showed yesterday. He really was on the ball.
There's Valentin Peroni, top 3 in the Cup. Not last year, the year before, in fact. Now, the time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's his second year in the Moto3 World Championship in the Red Bull KTM Tech 3 team. watching on. A lot of the riders come and watch this, not only because, well, they like to see spend time with riders that well, he actually trains with Jaroslav Karpushin, has done historically, but they also come and see, well, what are the what is Race Direction doing with the timing of the lights for later on. But I think Race Direction might be a little bit wise to that, so sometimes they mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah, that was Alvaro Carpe we saw there. Of course, Alvaro Carpe finished second here in the Moto3 Grand Prix last year, when Maximo Quiles won his first Grand Prix. That was just 12 months ago, and he's now won 7 of them. As I've mentioned yesterday, it's interesting, he's won 7 GPs. He actually won 7 Rookies Cup races in his 3 years in the Cup, so he's certainly stepped up as a rider. Incredible stuff from Maximo Quiles. Right, that will soon be underway for at least the warm-up lap.
Yeah, take 2 of getting underway, just at 15 seconds then. So a slight brief interlude then, Peter.
Yeah, and it's just, as we've got a bit of spare time here, let's just talk about the circuit here at Mugello. It's 5.245 kilometres, 3.26 miles, and it's an absolutely superb. This is the fastest part of the circuit. It's the only part of the circuit where they use 6th gear. They get up to 230 kilometres an hour, 143 miles an hour in 6th gear before braking and going back to 95 kilometres an hour, 60 kilometres an hour, and first or then quickly into 2nd gear for San Donato, the first corner, then climbing up through the left and the right up into 3rd to 4th gear before braking for the left-hander here, back to 2nd or 3rd gear through 3rd between the 2 corners, then quickly up to 4th now on the way out. 182 kilometres an hour, 113 kilometres an hour, but just holding it in 4th gear before this long sweeping downhill. This is a stupendous section, isn't it? Casanova and Savelli, but they're going through here at 160 kilometres an hour, 100 miles an hour, mostly in 4th gear all the way through here, holding 4th, and then to the climb up the hill, 180 kilometres an hour, 112 miles an hour in 3rd, 4th or 4th gear, hopefully in 4th if you're really quick enough up there, and across the top of the hill. Absolutely stupendous stuff.
Yeah, what a circuit this is. I've done a fair few laps around it, the service roads over this weekend, and you just can't get an impression of the elevation that's involved for the TV. You really can't. Not only that, but the camber on some of the corners here. Correntayo, for example, just absolutely beautiful positive camber, really sort of slingshots them here into the Biondetti S's, and then into the final corner.
And you're doing 200 kilometres an hour, 125 miles an hour down this short squirt here before braking. That's in 5th gear. They were braking back to 2nd or quickly up into 3rd and trying your best to get the perfect drive out of here onto the start and finish.
Christian Borelli, the Italian, looking to not overcook his bike here today, as we look now at David Gonzalez assuming his position at the front of the grid, looking for much better fortunes today. I did push him down the order in the standings quite some way. 38 points still from Le Mans, 7th position now. Goodness me, that's a big order to catch up Beñat Fernandez at the end of the season.
And I said Pirelli he'll be running the taller gearing in the race today, so he's really got to get through those curves perfectly, because you can't afford, especially sort of the climbing through Abrera Beata, not to get it right. Other with the taller gearing, you're going to struggle. So we have 12 laps of Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. We're going to finally get it underway. Who's going to take the start? Everybody gets rolling well.
They were caught a bit off guard then, I think, some of them. That was a very quick start indeed, but it is Ryota Agiwara with absolute cyclist legs, like punting him off the line. And look at this, the whole shot again, Peter. Absolutely brilliant from yesterday's race winner. David Gonzalez was absolutely caught napping a little bit. Where is he? Down the order. I can't even see him right now. I think he absolutely got left for dead. There he is. He's like 16th. David, you've absolutely stuffed that up, mate, I'm afraid.
Right, so it is Ogiwara, yesterday's winner, who has the advantage. Can he split? You know, as we said yesterday, and if you could get away, that somebody's off on the glass. That's 47, yeah, of Tibor. He's off on the green, and we had track limits warning. Nobody actually had to do a long lap penalty.
Oh, there he is. Sorry, Peter. Our pole position rider, 14th in the first sector. David, come on, you can't be napping like that, son. Goodness me. It is, though. Sorry, Guillaume Plonk out front then. So, Plonk, who qualified 3rd position. We didn't really talk about him in the lead up to this race, but he actually had a really interesting outing yesterday. Couldn't make the best of it. Just 1 point he came away with, but obviously just barely even a second off the win.
Yeah, that's right. It was very disappointing for him after being fastest through the 2-3 practice sessions, 3rd in qualifying on the front row of the grid, to only score a single point. Right, it is the 24 of Guillaume Plonk who has the advantage, the Frenchman in the lead, but he's under extreme pressure from the 23 of Travis Borg.
Plonk up the inside then. Borg keeps the outside line. 24 and 23 leading the way out the final corner for the first time. The 97, Ryota Ogiwara, slots in behind. The Pugliese, the Italian, the home hero then, really wants some success here today on home soil after starting from last on the grid yesterday. It's going to be Borg leading them over the line this time then. Across the Tricolore they come for the first time today. We got Luca Agostinelli up there as well in 8th position, where he started on the grid. And
but
now
the number
up to 6
7
as well. Who's
the number
that?
7, second place of the points leader, dropped back to 3rd. But there, rather swallowed up was Ryota Ogiwara there, swallowed up on the brakes. He's been pushed back to, what, 7th place?
Yeah, Beñat Fernandez in 3rd place, then Agostinelli in 4th now. So the Vietnamese rider, a great start, looking to make amends from yesterday.
Yeah, superb stuff, the Maltese rider. There is the number 11, the pole man. He's trying to wake up for his appalling start.
Look, oh, David Gonzalez, absolutely napping.
Yeah, must admit, you picked that really well, Matt. I didn't see that from the front shot, but that was, yeah.
It looked
totally
like quite
asleep.
a few of them sort of really weren't expecting it to go off that quickly. But that's sort of what we talk about, you know. They were so pumped up, ready for the first start, and then who's relaxed too much, you know, with the brief. But it's all part of the game of being a motorcycle racer. You've got to prepare for absolutely everything.
Right, so now Beñat is there in 2nd place. You know, now he didn't want to try and break away. He said it's impossible yesterday. Well, let's see if he reconsiders that.
One thing to note, and actually to shout out there, by the way, the marshals had quicker reactions with the yellow flags, and David Gonzalez did getting off the line. They were already waving them. So fair play to them. Maybe they should have a go someday. Who's that in the back? Martinez, the 77, the Venezuelan, nearly stacks it there, coming together with somebody else.
The 15-year-old Venezuelan there, yes, really had a big problem there, but he's got away with it, thank goodness. Beñat, he's on a wide line. He's wondering who wants to give him a slipstream down the straight. He's not in any kind of hurry at all on the number 7. But leading is the 23. The Maltese cross on the number 16. And there's the number 9. That is Luca Agostinelli in the middle of the pack there. Nobody really looking like even trying to break away. There's how many of them? That's like 10, 15 guys all in a huddle for the first corner.
Yeah, that's...
Right, Van Kruyten has a double long lap penalty.
That is for going to pit lane and stalling on the grid. It's,
or not having the right position to restart or something.
Yeah, well, he started from pit lane, the warm-up lap, but then he assumed his position on the grid, but then will now serve the long lap penalty. That's his punishment for doing it. It's a less severe punishment than a pit lane start.
Right, he has 3 laps. He must comply within 3 laps. He's got 5 laps to complete the second of the double long lap warning, and he'll get a dashboard message to tell him to do that. His mechanic helper can also, I think it's his dad, can also hold out the signboard, but he'll has a dashboard to tell him to do that.
Context of the lap times we're seeing, the fastest lap of yesterday's race was Fernando Bajosa, a 2:00.8. Well, the fastest lap last time around was a 2:01.4. So will they get any quicker this time around? We are still one gigantic group all the way down to Jurien van Kruchten, just 3 seconds off, but all together.
And if you notice, we're not telling you every flaming overtake manoeuvre that there is, because it wore us out yesterday.
Yeah, it really did. I was absolutely shattered. I slept like a baby last night, but it is Travis Borg leading the way, comfortably so at the moment. But who's going to be drilling the pace? Did they listen to the rider coaches? Did they do their homework from yesterday? Varga up there into 3rd position as well. Gonzalez has finally recovered. Thank goodness, bless him. So 5th place now, ahead of Agostinelli and Christian Daniel, who led quite a few laps yesterday.
So yeah, Van Kruchten has completed one of his long lap penalties. So not really what he needed, as he said, you know, after qualifying quite well. Really good stuff. And there is the number 70 of Christian Daniel Jr. He's jumped into the picture.
And Keandra Ramadipa looks to be going deeper still into turn 1, but just slots into 2nd position. He started from further up the grid today. No grid penalty for him after yesterday's race, so this is much better from him now.
And what did Christian Daniel say about leading the race yesterday?
Well, of course, you'd have seen he was leading it all the way towards the final lap, but then sort of tried to implement a bit of strategy, sort of slot in, not lead onto the final lap, because he did try to lead all the way last year, and then he got pushed all the way back in the pack. So he tried to do the opposite this year, but found the same result. So I wonder what he's going to decide to do today. But, you know, he's certainly looking fiercely determined today. The fire is well and truly lit under him. The fire rises in Christian Daniel here today.
2 9th places here last year, but he's just had to give up the lead to the pole man, the number 11 of David Gonzalez, the 18-year-old Spaniard.
We've got a yellow flag at turn 8, so someone has gone down or into the gravels. We see Agostinelli moving up the inside of Travis Borg now. It's Alfonso Almeida, the Portuguese rider, who has gone down at turn 8.
That's the Arrabbiata 1, a quick place to fall. I'm sure his Tech Air system at Alpine Stars, yeah. Well, there is the number 10 of Alfonso Almeida. He's obviously okay. The Alpine Stars Tech Air gear doing its job and saving him from injury, as the HJC helmet has done. There's the lead group then. It's the pole man who has pulled that from that atrocious
look
start.
At this. There is a bit of breathing space now between those riders. David Gonzalez, Christian Daniel Jr., Keandra Ramadipa. There is several bike lengths now between them and Travis Borg. Across the line they come. Here we go. What's the lap time's going to be this time around? 2:01s for the leaders, 2:02s for everybody else. The pin is being pulled and it's up to everybody else. Can you catch them? Beñat Fernandez leads the chasing group for how long? Luca Agostinelli tries to go up the inside, but look at that. This is the biggest bit of daylight that we've seen in Rookies Cup so far here in Mugello.
It certainly is. I don't think Beñat is going to let this happen if he can. You know, he doesn't want to see this disappear and end up in the 2nd place pack, but he may not have control of that situation. It is Christian Daniel Jr. that leads over the 32 of Keandra Ramadipa, and as you say, these guys are quick enough to get away if they put their head down and play fair with each other.
Yeah, but then look, now we got Beñat Fernandez and Travis Borg. If there were 2 riders who are able to chase down the leaders, it would certainly be these 2. The question remains, though, will they be taking anyone else with them?
Yeah, it's disappearing, isn't it? That advantage is disappearing because Beñat Fernandez is so quick through Arrabbiata 1 and 2.
Yeah, the gap
He's there already.
Yeah, it started at half a second on lap 1. It was a quarter of a second. Sorry, the start of the lap. Intermediate 2, it was a quarter of a second, and now Beñat is looking for 3rd. But there's still actually daylight between him and 5th place now.
Well, that's right. Maybe he can make it a quartet to pull away.
Yeah, well, this is fascinating, isn't it? Christian Daniel still leads then, coming down into Correntire. This is the long lap penalty lane. Jurien van Kruchten will have to serve one final long lap penalty in order to complete his sanction.
Right, so now, and as Beñat said, you know, it takes time for the track to warm up, but it will be warm now. Maybe he's taking it a bit easy, and now it's the time, as you say, Matt, to pull the pin.
Out the final corner they come. Beñat just sort of sitting up there rather than giving it full gas. Across the line they come then. What will the lap times be this time around?
It's Luca Agostinelli who's leading the rest of the group, and they're getting back on terms. That is not going to be a lone quartet for any time at all.
No,
it's
they
gone.
tried, they
It's
tried,
gone.
they tried, but they failed. It's Beñat Fernandez and David Gonzalez. 2 winners so far this year. Your very clear leader in the standings into second place now.
Very tight between Tibor Varga there, wasn't it, and Travis Borg, I think. But the fastest lap so far by Beñat Fernandez. Superb stuff from the points leader. Look over his shoulder.
Yeah, Ramadipa looks over his shoulder. We'll see Travis Borg and Tibor Varga then for company.
Haven't you told him not to do that?
Well, no, yeah, they all know I hate it when they look around. Keep your eyes forward. That was Borg, who just had a big moment through turns 4 then. So I just want to take stock of who we aren't seeing around at the moment. Sullivan Mounty up into 10th place. That's better than he was doing at this stage yesterday. Pugliese has been punted down the order. Fernando Bajosa just got moved down a couple of spots again into 15th. Ryota Ogiwara is in 13th, yesterday's winner. Singapong 18th, despite seeing him towards the front a lot yesterday.
Well, Ogiwara was down in 14th for the middle 2 laps of yesterday, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, apparently so. But once again, though, Peter, they are really trying to string it out, these leaders. David Gonzalez and Beñat Fernandez. They're bringing Christian Daniel and Kander Amadipa with them. Travis Borg at that second split was 4 tenths down. So it is a bit of a yo-yo effect happening. It just depends on who's got the sound of mind to actually really chase them, but also keep it calm and not make any mistakes. Borg did make potentially a mistake, or he was bumped back at turn 4. But are they going to catch them on the straight this time around?
They are. You know, those 4 are going to punch a big hole in the air. That produces an incredible slipstreaming effect and will drag the number 23 and the rest of them, Travis Borg, the Maltese, and the rest of them into contention.
Finn Kratokville, the German, podium finisher yesterday, up into 5th spot then. The 20, as they cross the line, leads the chase. The fastest rider last time around was Ryota Ogiwara, a 2-minute flat, 0.8.
Right, and Finn said yesterday, his whole plan yesterday was to get towards the front, learn just how the guys go about it at the front of the field. He said, I did that, and I want to do even better tomorrow. So here he is with that plan playing out for him.
What was interesting about that time around, Peter, is the chasers did catch back up, but they weren't close enough to actually swamp the leaders and force a change in the leading quartet. So are they going to... Ooh, as Beñat Fernandez nearly hits the back of Christian Daniel.
And there's the lead gone, really, isn't it? You know, that was just enough to break that lead up. And... well, my goodness gracious me, it is the American that leads, but the Spaniard number 11 is behind him, and then his fellow countryman Beñat Fernandez.
Go on, Christian. This is the liking of the determination we like to see, if I can actually get my words out after yesterday's disappointment. Although it was quite amusing yesterday. I saw him just after the race. He was bitterly disappointed. Saw him a couple of hours later. Said, how are you feeling now? A little bit better. Coincidentally, he just had a meal.
Yeah, well, that's right. I spoke to his dad soon after the race, and he said, look, you know, I'm very proud of him. He rode a brilliant race. That's just the way it goes.
Exactly.
And, you know, that's why you want your dad to be.
It's so easy in hindsight for us all to go, you can do this, you can do that, but when you're here in the heat of battle at the moment, as we see Beñat Fernandez shuffling his way all around, what can you do? All Christian can do at the moment is he's absolutely sending it out front. He's got Ramadipa for company in second, but look at the chasing pack behind them.
It's great to see you know, the cornering style of Christian Daniel with the elbows out. He stands out a mile, doesn't he?
Ben Spies, that fellow American, former MotoGP rider, world superbike champion. We like a bit of elbows action.
Oh, look at that, you know, slipstream. Lead disappeared completely. He's going to go from first to what, about 4th if he's not late on the brakes there, but he is late on the brakes.
And
oh, superbly late on the brakes.
Finn Kratokville leads, the German rider who podiumed yesterday, up into the lead, but not for long, because it's your pole sitter, David Gonzalez, who retakes it from him.
Yeah. I'm looking actually to see, there is the number 70. He's back, lost it, got back to about 6th place. So he led until the start and finish and is now back into about 6th or 7th place.
Matteo Marulanda for company there as well. Carlos Cano back in 10th spot as well. Shout out to him for being up there this time around.
Singapore with the fastest lap of the race so far at 2.00543.
Which is faster than yesterday by 3/10. So I think that goes to show, the conditions are better this morning with it being slightly cooler. And they're able to utilise that now to be a bit quicker than we were yesterday. But still, fair bit of mucking around, isn't there, Peter?
So David Gonzalez, the two Spaniards take the lead there. Bagnac passing David Gonzalez. Well, they're side by side, swapping in and out of the corner. Finn gets pushed back to 3rd place.
Agostinelli looks up the inside. 2nd position for the Vietnamese rider into Corantayo. Hopefully learned about going 3 kilometres an hour slower with a little bit less lean angle this time around throughout the race.
Yeah, he was actually, I mean, disappointed to fall off, definitely, but he was so happy that he ran the pace and could fight at the front like that.
Wow, 4, 3, 4, 5 abreast into the final corner then, and unfortunately we are seeing something very similar than what we saw yesterday. How many riders going off on track limits? There's just no room, is there? I mean, what are they supposed to do in some ways, but at the same time, guys, just pull the pin, go for it.
Yeah,
we're back into the 202s, Peter. There is a lot of mucking around. This is the problem. 4 laps to go. We need someone to take charge of this race, grab the bull by the horns, and absolutely gun it.
Yeah. Easier said than done.
Absolutely, that's why I commentate and I don't race. Oh, Mounsey and Cratocville come together into turns 2 and 3, just about keep it upright.
And, you know, Sullivan said yesterday when he got to the front, he said, I'd done all the hard work in practice, in free practice, riding on my own. I knew what I had to do. I knew I had the pace to win the race. And he said, I just got nabbed out of the last corner, you know, on the run into the line.
Where is Beñat Fernandez at the moment? In 8th position, I think he is. Now, what's his mindset going to be? I mean, he's a real go-getter, isn't he? You know, in any sort of situation, he loves to go win. But with the giant gap that he's got in the championship now, is he thinking of, if it's a bit too chaotic, is he going to be a little bit more conservative with his ambitions, or is he not? David Gonzalez, someone who you could argue, despite the points gap, a bit of a rival here, absolutely isn't. He really is going for it in this one, isn't he?
Yeah, Thibaut Varga in 2nd place there behind David Gonzalez, and Almeida has got a track limits warning.
Sullivan Mounsey up into 10th spot. I was just watching that change around.
Sorry, Marulanda with the track limits.
Marulanda, oh yes, there we go, the Colombian. Marulanda down in 13th at the moment, but of course that means he's within about a second of the winning positions.
Right, Ogiwara, yesterday's winner, looking strong there in 5th place.
Thibaut Varga, 2nd place for the Hungarian. Impressive stuff from him. That would be by far the best result he's had in Rookies Cup so far. And look at this, so we are fanning out a bit more. It's less chaotic. What are they going to be doing this time around? Let's pay attention to the lap times. 2:02.3 last time around for the leader. Gonzalez will lead them again across the line. A 2:01.2, a 2:01 flat for Thibaut Varga behind. And they do still fan out, but it's a much lesser group this time around, Peter.
Yeah, and it's David Gonzalez, the pole man. Jose has a track limits warner, but the pole man has the advantage.
Beñat Fernandez does gain an advantage from that time around. Well positioned coming onto the start and finish straight. He now moves up into 3rd.
Yeah, and Finn, there's the number 20. You saw him draw. He's pushed back to about 8th place.
Oh, Varga nearly hits the back of either Ogiwara or Christian Daniel. Ogiwara has been playing it very sensibly, hasn't he? Because languishing down sort of outside the top 10 for quite a few laps, most of this race, in fact, and now we find him inside the top 5.
Long, tight inside line on the number 7 is Beñat Fernandez. Going after the pole man. Now, these two Spaniards, they can break away. They've got the pace to do it. But have they got the wherewithal? Are they going to somehow deny the slipstream to the guys behind him? It seems at the moment in these two races at Mugello this year to be impossible.
Beñat Fernandez looking into the screens to his right to see where everybody is, and he would have seen a great big pack of riders right behind him. But they are stringing it out a little bit, Peter. This is very, very interesting, these final couple of laps then. David Gonzalez does not want to relinquish that lead at the moment. Beñat Fernandez does, just moves sensibly to the side. He's got Christian Daniel just behind him. Ryota Ogiwara, yesterday's winner, right there as well. Now, if I'm actually, you know, you got to be careful, Beñat, because you don't want to. You got to be really clever. Someone like Ryota Ogiwara, who's on a bit of a run now with yesterday's win. You know, what if he manages to snag another one?
Yeah, but Beñat there, look at the number 7. He's there, as I said, yesterday didn't cross the finish line in anything other than the top 3, and he's done it again. 3rd place across the start and finish.
Lap times that time around, a 2:01.5. But then we had the fastest lap of the race from David da Costa, a 2:0.5. So there is still so much left in the tank, Peter. But with 2 laps to go, time is running out for everybody. It's about to get chaotic once again. Borg was in the lead, but now it's Varga. The Hungarian leads. We're not just a few hundred kilometres away from his home in Hungary. Will he get a win here today?
So there he is, has the advantage. Now, the fastest lap, as you say, that went to David da Costa down in 17th place, but he did make his way through to finish 6th yesterday, the Frenchman. So there they are, side by side. Oh, superb stuff. The number 7, the points leader, Fernandez, has the advantage. He is so good through these Arabiatas.
Someone off the board today is Fernando Bajosa, former 2nd in the Cup standings, pushed back after yesterday's crash. He's in 19th at the moment.
With a track limits warning. Right, so here's 2nd place yesterday. The points leader, number 7, has the advantage, only just from the 47 of Tibor Varga and the 11 of David Gonzalez.
Well, the dress rehearsal then for this final sector into Corontayo. Beñat Fernandez goes wide. Will he get sort of the slingshot around into Biondetti 1 and 2? No, he moves wide because he wants to be 3rd or 4th position. Gonzalez then looks behind. This is not, Peter, this is not good, is it? It's not good. This is not what we want to see at all, frankly.
Well, it is if you feel you're in command, which Beñat Fernandez does. He's positioned himself.
But he's the only one. Carlos Cano now into the lead. He's now into the lead, and I better say cross the line. This is going to be slow as slugs coming across the line.
Plus the fact that Carlos Cano is one of the heavier guys, and he has been running the shorter gearing. I don't know whether he changed it for today, but look, he's one of the bigger guys, and he just gets swamped.
Yeah, across the line they are. 2:02.6, 2:03s. Guys, go for it! It's the last lap. Come on, boys, let's go. Ryota Ogiwara into the lead. Guillaume Plong 2nd place. Beñat 3rd. Varga into 4th or 5th. Finn Kratokville is in there in the top 4 as well. But look at it, it's absolute chaos throughout the field. It's a complete lottery.
97 is Ryota Ogiwara, yesterday's winner. He's pulled to the front, but does he really want to leave? Oh, and we're off. That's exactly what we saw yesterday, didn't we? Off in the gravel.
Exactly what we saw. Absolutely ridiculous. Just pin it and go for it. That's what Ryota Ogiwara is trying to do, and there is some daylight now back to 4th.
But Beñat is right where he wants to be. He's there in 3rd place behind Guillaume Plong. Plong so much better position than yesterday.
He is like Thanos. He is inevitable. I got it wrong yesterday. I said Thor, but no, he is just inevitable. The number 7, the series leader, 2nd place at the moment. Positions 1 and 2 in the championship, 1 and 2, but reversed in the race. Yellow flags at turn 8. Someone down in the background.
And it is, I'm saying Beñat is just where he wants to be here. He doesn't want to lead.
Tinez is down. Sorry, Peter. Oh, a couple of riders going off there. Oh, goodness me. Oh, dearie me. There's a couple of riders down in the background. But that is the kind of chaos.
Yeah, luckily doesn't look him serious. That could have been a lot worse than it was.
Ramadipa's down. He's one of them. I'm not sure who else it was. We'll get back to that because we got to focus on Biondetti 1 and 2, Peter. The run to the line is on. Ryota Ogiwara, he's absolutely going for it.
But Beñat Fernandez is where he wants to be going into the last one. But up the inside comes the 24 of Guillaume Plong. That has spoiled Beñat Fernandez's plan a little bit, but they come out onto the... This is the run to the line. Who's going to get it? It's Ogiwara has the advantage, but he's going to give out. He's giving the slipstream to the guys behind. Guillaume Plong, no, it's Kinfana-Witchell.
It's going to be
Ogiwara. It is Ogiwara with a double.
He gets the double! The double for the Japanese rider ahead And Finn Cratlockville, a second podium, and Plonk is on the podium as well.
And Beñat Fernandez will not be distraught with 4th place. And Cano, the larger guy who it was 71, Carlos Cano, the Spaniard, he's finally come good as well. We saw him lead on the penultimate lap, but he's really too big to make that work here at Mugello. And there is the number 97, Ryota Ogiwara, the 80th different Cup winner, has now made it a double.
Wow, oh wow, brilliant stuff. We got a video finish in progress to 7th place. That'll be between either Singapong, who came from basically the back, Christian Daniel and Travis Borg. But Peter, once again, I'm going to say it. Who won? The rider that just said, stuff the lot of you, I am absolutely gunning it. Well, that is the lesson here.
That's right, and as we picked out, you know, he was in the middle of the pack. He was way down, what did you say, 13th place or something mid-race, but he was 14th mid-race last year, and I said last time on Saturday, I said, don't worry about it.
That is this is, you know, I know obviously he was part of the messing around and being a bit slow over the last couple of laps, but that final lap, no, he led it as much as he possibly could. He didn't get involved, he just absolutely gunned it, and look how it panned out for him. He won, he was the smartest, he was the most cunning, he absolutely deserves the double.
Yeah, I mean, Beñat there, he was trying to position himself to be super clever, and he, you know, he was there, he was 3rd, he was 2nd, but when it came down to it, he ends up 4th. I mean, no great disaster.
But hey, maybe he's thinking of the championship now, and he's like, well, that's fine.
You know, there is that. I mean, there's a group of guys, you know, Dakwigan, Ramadeepa didn't finish. They were in that
crash earlier on,
crash. And then we've got a note here that Ramadeepa's going to the medical centre. Let's hope he's okay. It didn't look super serious, but you know, you can't tell. Obviously, it could be. It was still ended up in the gravel.
But oh yeah, often these things can be a precautionary measure. But of course, we wish Kanda Ramadeepa all the very best.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there we go. It was slightly less scary than yesterday. Still, if I'm honest, and you can probably tell in my voice, quite frustrating to watch. But I am glad that the rider that pulled the pin the most actually got the win.
Yeah, Marulanda with a 3-second penalty because he should have done a long lap, but there wasn't time for him to do that. It was just advised later on. Look at this.
Where is Ryota Ogiwara? Leading the way into turn 1.
Yeah, he's doing what you tell him to do, isn't he? But there's the number 7, you see. He's in 3rd place. He thinks, yeah, this is just where I want to be.
And if I'm a Moto3 World Championship team, I'm looking at the riders here who just go, I'm having it.
Yeah.
And Ryota Ogiwara absolutely had it this weekend. Goodness me, that was Mounsey in the background doing flat tracking through the gravel. That'll be why he ended up in 9th position. This was what happened with Ramadeepa, and it was Gonzalez he got caught up with. And poor Dakigan, his great mate, just got taken out there. We can see he's pretty well okay. Fortunately, was not struck by anybody. But David Gonzalez then, so where did he finish? Just absolutely hapless, unfortunately, and luckless. 16th, no points.
No way. No way. 11th, well, you know, it's kind of where he started. Where he started from pole, but then went backwards.
So who did get 6th, 7th, etc.?
Wow. We've had a double winner before, of course, here. That's not the first time. What happened last year? Vader, I think.
Yes, exactly that. Another Asia Talent Cup graduate.
Yeah.
Vader, who came back from injury from another championship and just came out swinging.
Yeah.
And there he was. But Ryota Ogiwara, another star from the Moto4 Asia Cup. And that is absolutely how it's done.
Yeah, superb, isn't it? I mean, the way he's ridden this season is so intelligent. You know, he didn't rush into things. He hadn't ridden the bike before. He hadn't seen the circuits before. So he was 11th and 9th in Jerez. He was 2nd for race 1 in Le Mans, 5th in race 2, and 2 firsts. That is somewhat impressive.
Very much so. Now, as a result of the time constraints, I think we're only going to have one interview. Well, might not be having any park firm interviews. They're being ushered out already. Going straight to the podium as a result of the delay that we had. So that's fine.
I think Ogiwara will probably say he's very happy.
I would say yes, he's absolutely delighted. So yeah, they'll be straight to the podium then. So we won't be hearing from our winner, but I'm sure you can catch it all on the post-race shows, etc., Red Bull TV, etc., etc., and you'll enjoy that. So yes, because of course we are waiting for MotoGP warm-up to take place fairly shortly afterwards.
And I will apologise for Finn Quattrocchi's use of an unfortunate word yesterday, and he doesn't get the chance to do it again today, thank goodness. Anyway, Gavin Blancs, well, that's superb. As you said, Matt, he's got a single point yesterday, having qualified on the front row, and now he's made good for that and finishes third. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
There they are, all out on the podium, all in one. Finn Quattrocchi's podiums like London buses. You wait around for a while and two come along at once. Great stuff from the German.
He really has stepped up here. And there we have the Giorgio Barbia, the Pirelli Motorsports racing director, giving out the trophies. And of course, Pirelli are such a big part of all sorts of just about every form of motorsport around the world. They were founded in Milan, just up the road, in 1872. So they didn't start off making tyres. They made, all sorts of rubber gear, but have been making tyres for a long, long time.
Well, then Ryota Ogiwara holds the trophy high, and for the second time this weekend, we will be hearing the Japanese national anthem.
So he was already second in the cut points going into this race after yesterday's win. He's closed in, of course, on Benyat at the front. We're already looking forward to races 7 and 8 of the 14 at Assen on June 27th and 28th. All races on Red Bull TV, Facebook and YouTube, Red Bull Motorsports. But until Assen, it's goodbye from Matt Dunn and myself, Peter Clifford.